Hitting it now.
Oh, I heard it.
There's
you-
your legal notice, just in case you're in WITSEC and you need to turn your video off.
Hold on. It's giving me choices. Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Choices, so many choices. Oh my
The
gosh.
choice is, do you want to stay on or do you want to get off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to the chakra series.
You're committed now, you two. Okay. So we're going to start off with the way the class is organized. And I'm sure you will recognize a lot. And chakra is not a new word to a lot of people. We're pretty familiar with that. And I have been doing yoga since the 80s, since before there were hip yoga studios. I started with a book and I worked my way up to CDs, DVDs, those things. And I would put a yoga tape on my little 12-inch television I had on top of the refrigerator and do yoga that way. And my son would join me. And as the years rolled on, we were even in the yoga business for a while, but I was never a teacher. Didn't really want to be a teacher. I wanted to be a lifetime student. And then I kind of stumbled across a reference to Kundalini yoga in something I was reading. And I started investigating that. And I went, wow, this really expands all the different types I've learned over the year. It's very inclusive. And it seems to go back to original things back in India, thousands of years ago. It's still pulling those up. And I decided I want to sign up for a teacher training program so I can get all the deets. I want to know all the things. I want to take a deep dive into it. And I still said, I just want to, can I just come to the program? I don't need to be a teacher. And then my teacher talked me into just giving it a shot. She goes, give it a try because you're going to be required to do it anyway to graduate. Okay. And what I quickly realized was I get very excited about learning something and I'm telling people anyway, oh my gosh, did you hear this thing about your root chakra? Let me tell you and sell you some insurance while we're at it. So I will be presenting some things in sort of a Kundalini framework. And Kundalini refers to the energy that works its way up through your spine like a serpent. It's rather a nice visual. So this practice incorporates movement, the asanas, and breath work, meditation, and mantra, which is fun for a person like me to do mudras because I'm talking with my hands all the time anyway. And now I have an excuse. I'm supposed to be doing this. So starting off with the root chakra, there are 7 chakras in the human body. Some people consider the aura the 8th one. And chakra is basically a Sanskrit word for like spinning energy, a little circle of spinning energy that go throughout our bodies. And at the base, as I said on my little video this morning, the root chakra, also known as Muladhara, you're sitting on it. That's where we start. It's down there at the bottom. And that is moving our way up is the sacral chakra, located around the sex organs. Then we move up to the solar plexus, the heart, throat, third eye, crown, and then the biggie, the outward, the complete aura. So from my viewpoint and from studying, I think we can benefit from talking about the chakras and doing some asanas, some movements that benefit the different chakras, even without buying completely into it, because it still can be pretty woo-woo. You hear people, talk about the chakras and it's not totally accepted yet, but it can be a really interesting intellectual exercise. And it can be a catalyst for having a conversation with yourself. And what I mean by that is when we start talking about the aspects of the root chakra, it's associated with the color red. And it's the focus on the energy from the root chakra is on survival. There's very basic things, being safe, being healthy, being grounded. It's support how we interact with our environment. It relates to our ability to focus and project and make our way out in the world and take care of our practical needs. So when they talk about balanced, that means like when it's all working correctly, when it's all spinning and healthy and moving. So when that root chakra is balanced, that's when you have a sense of security and you feel stable, you feel independent, you feel strong and energetic. And as you can imagine, if there's an imbalance, you might be a little more fearful, insecure, ungrounded, maybe a little lack of ambition. You'll feel like things are just a little bit off. So if you want to consider the meanings of this chakra, you can ask yourself questions. And this is what I meant by have a conversation with yourself. Like, well, what does it mean for me to feel safe and secure? And when I started, studying on this, I go to a whole bunch of different sources, and I was thinking about it, and I remember I think my first feeling of creating safety and security for myself. I was in my early 20s and I had just landed a little bit better job, and I went to the grocery store, and I remember standing in the grocery store going, I can buy anything I want in here. I don't have to walk around the store and go, if I buy this thing, I have to put that thing back. And that was a big moment for me. I can buy anything in the grocery store. And some people feel secure if they have a job with a major corporation. And, I have insurance and I've got a 401k. And other people, because we have so many layoffs in the corporate world these days, they feel more secure by being self-employed. So that's different for everybody. And it's just a chance to have a conversation about what makes me feel good and balanced in this area. And is it all working for me right now? Do I need to take a look at this, maybe make something happen? And one of the things you can do when you're focused on this chakra is one of our favorite things that we were all just talking about, and that's getting outside and connecting with nature. And you hear the term earthing, just walking on actual ground as opposed to the 24th story of a tall office building. And if you can, walking around barefoot, all of these things help because you're literally connecting with Mother Earth. I mean, what better energy source, Mother Earth? So that's a thing that you can do. And one of the things I really have come to appreciate about studying this particular type of yoga is, you hear all the time, well, yoga's for everybody. And you see the person saying that and you watch their Instagram, and what they mean is yoga is for everybody who qualifies for Cirque du Soleil. If you can dangle like that and stand on your head and twirl, yoga's for you. But yoga really is for everybody and everybody. They're very accommodating in Kundalini yoga about making your practice your own. There's so much available to us. And that means using props when you feel comfortable, going as far into a posture as you feel comfortable that day, what your body is capable of doing on any particular day, how far you feel about reaching for something. I'm a person who, when I started this, because I came from Bikram, which is very, very strict, this is exactly how we do it. And it's going to hurt and you're going to love it. And suffering is wonderful. So I like that. And little masochist here. But also it was, 26 and 2. Here are the things, exactly what you do. And I was looking for the formula when I first started Kundalini, and I was a little afraid. I was like flailing around. And then I realized that you make your practice your own. There are well over 2,100 asanas, and it's like a prescription. Take 2 asanas and call me in the morning. Are you working on something emotional? Are you working on stress? Are you working on arthritis? Or I need more energy? Whatever comes up for you in your life, there is a yoga practice that will help you specifically, and it will incorporate breathing and it will incorporate moving. So when you are working on a particular posture, ask yourself, because we don't want anybody to be in pain or to injure themselves. But when you meet something that you're uncomfortable with, ask yourself, is this pain? Is this an indication that I need to stop? I've gone as far as I can. Or is it resistance? Because, every day you come to the mat, you're a different person. You can do it fabulous last week, and today you're in child's pose for 20 minutes. That's it. Some of the postures, I realize there's some things that require us to hold our hands over our heads for a long time, and they were really painful for me. So take a break and come back. It doesn't mean you failed. It means just take a break and come back. It's like no big drama, and you'll get stronger. And again, every day will be different. So one of the things we're going to talk about, later we're going to do a chair pose, and we're going to talk about something called a root lock in that pose. And I wanted to go over that with you now, because basically a root lock is contracting the muscles in your lower body like a Kegel, or if you've been sitting in a conference room for 2 hours and you're hoping that speaker stops really soon because you got to go. You're like squeezing it all in. That's a root lock. And you don't hold it forever. You just like contract those muscles and then let them go. So that will come up later. Now, we're going to get into some actual movement. And we're going to start with a mantra. I will put the words in the chat so you can see what I'm saying. And look at
Is there a way to look?
there we go. Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. And we will say this 3 times together. And basically what that means is I bow to the guru within. And the word guru, gu comes from the Sanskrit darkness, ru, light. And it is someone who brings you from darkness into light. And basically that's recognizing your own power in this situation to heal yourself and take care of yourself and educate yourself. So I bow to the guru within, and mostly we will be breathing through our nose with our mouth closed. And there's some exercises where we'll specifically be instructed, yes, it's time to breathe through your mouth right now. But for the most part, you'll be breathing through your nose. And again, do what you can for your personal situation. So, seated comfortably, if you like, you can put your hands on your knees. You can place your hands in Gyan Mudra if you want. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. We'll begin. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Namo. And when you are ready to get up and move, we're going to start out with an easy one. We're going to start in child's pose. So I'm going to move back there. I'm going to move my little seat over. There's a dog on it right now. Oh, cricky, cricky.
That change.
Moving the dog out of the way. Reagan is not with us today. She usually joins us. I hear binging and bonging. Let me make sure nobody else is trying to join. And we're going to get rid of that. Make that quiet. So let me know if I'm not speaking loudly enough to go across the room. You'll have to like wave arms like really big at me for to see. So for child's pose, you can start right away if you feel comfortable using a prop, depending on the strength of your knees. And I haven't warmed up today and it's kind of cold out here, so a little bit stiff. And if you'd like to use a prop in child's pose, you might find it comfortable to take a rolled up towel or a pillow, put under your knees. We're going to be kneeling down, feet flat on the floor. And we're going to go forward, and there's a couple of ways to do this, whichever you feel most comfortable with. We can stretch all the way out like this. With your hands flat on the ground, on your mat, and you're connecting to the energy of the earth. If you wish, you can put your arms sort of behind you with your palms up. And also, if it's more comfortable for you, you can put your forehead on a pillow or a towel if going all the way down to the floor isn't in your comfort zone. So we're going to get into our most comfortable child's pose. Breathing in and out through the nose for a slow count of 8. And when you're ready, slowly rise back up. You can either continue to sit on your heels in rock pose. You can go into easy pose. This is fun. Final twist. Oh, she was that. Okay. For our next exercise, we're going to be doing a little breathing exercise. And if you noticed when you were in child's pose, you could feel the muscles moving around in your lower back. Again, this is all based around our root chakra. Scooter's joining us. He's going to do downward dog, I think. So for our next pose, either seated like this or seated in easy pose, which is ever most comfortable for you. And we're going to be starting with a breathing exercise. And to do this, we're going to take our hands, put them on our shoulders with our fingers in front, thumbs in the back. Kind of like chicken wings. And we'll be breathing through our nose. We'll be breathing in and move our head and shoulders and arms together to the left. Breathe in to the left. Exhale to the right. Into the left. Exhale to the right. Now, we will be doing this for 2 minutes, and we'll let your clock start now. And because this involves holding your arms up for a long period of time, if you need to modify this, please do so. If you need to take a break in the middle, bring your arms down, that's quite all right. If you don't even want to start with your arms up, if you can just move this way and back, whatever you're comfortable with today. So let's give a start now. Into the left, exhale to the right. And for our last round, slow exhale, slowly lower your arms. Now for the next one, you're going to get into a squat. So whatever is the easiest way for you to do that, if you need to stand all the way up and stretch your legs out for a minute because we've been sitting, give those knees a little bobble, little break. They don't show this one often on Instagram. I don't know why. It's really good for you. And lower yourself down if you want to put your hands on the floor. And the idea is keep our legs and toes pointed out at an angle like this. Go down as low as you can. If you want to hold on to something while you're doing this, go right ahead. Feel comfortable. I've got a little table here if you need that for balance. Ideally, we are going to put our hands in prayer, put our elbows inside the knees, and you can sort of put some pressure there, hold the knees back. Again, this is wonderful for your lower spine. It's a great hip opener. And the goal is to try to keep your spine as straight as possible. Again, visualize the energy coming up through the earth, coming up through your feet, coming up through that root chakra, working its way up your spine. So a nice, slow, deep breath. And we will do this for 8 breaths. And if you catch yourself kind of curling over, remind yourself to move back up. Try to get that spine straight. And when you come to the end of your 8 breaths, feel free to lower yourself back down onto the ground. You can use your hands, lean back, stretch your legs out. That would be bouncing up and down a little bit because that is some pressure there on your knees. And that's probably not a position we're accustomed to getting into, but it's a good thing to do if you work at a desk a lot during the day, work over your computer, excuse me, take a little break, do some squatting, it's moving that energy around. Now, to sort of counterbalance that, when you get comfortable back in the seated position, we're going to do some reach over, touch the toe type stretches. Bring your right foot into your left thigh, wherever is comfortable. If your foot wants to go right up here, all the way at the top, right, tucked right into the crotch, that's cool. Place your foot where you can. Some people might be more comfortable with it lower or just stretched out. So whatever is comfortable for you, wherever you can get that foot. And if you want to leave both legs out a little bit, if that's more comfortable for you, please go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we're going to be tucking the right foot into the left thigh. We'll be making our shoulders perpendicular to that leg, be facing forward. Reach up into the air, a nice stretch up into the air. We'll be reaching forward for the foot. If you can do this type of reach, you can lock your fingers, reach forward, and then place them around your foot. You can also grab your big toe or reach as far as you feel comfortable today. Arms up, you can reach here. You can rest your hands on your shoulders. Again, this is part of making your practice yours. And when we get into position, we will hold this for 8 long, deep breaths. And just notice how you feel while you're holding it, and start when you feel comfortable. Arms up, stretch out, reach down. When you're ready to come out, you can either slide your hands up your legs, or you can reach back up, stretch out again. And then we'll switch over to the other legs. And whenever you're ready, reach up and stretch out again. And when you're ready, come on out. Shake your legs out if you want. Sit in butterfly if you like. Whatever you need to do to get everything back to where it was before you started. Okay. Next up is going to be chair pose. Now, as somebody attending a studio, I would just follow the directions and do chair pose the way they told me to. And now is a student of yoga. Whenever I get ready to present something, I research it at least 4 different sources, trying to go back as far as possible. But that was in 1969. What did they have to say about it in the 1800s? I need to find all the things. And what I've discovered is I'm making myself crazy because absolutely every single posture, everybody has a different way to do it. So in Bikram, chair pose was very, very challenging. They do toes up, heels up, toes down. You can't do toes up and heels up. Then you'd be floating, and we're a few lessons off from that. So basically they do it with heels up and arms out in front. That's very challenging. If you're into that, feel free. Otherwise, I rather like the one where the heels are down because they don't fall over as easily. And also with heels down, you can get your arms more in line with your spine, which is opening up the spine more. It's more of a stretch. And this is one, feel free to use any props you like for this. You can also do chair against a wall for extra support. Put your spine up against the wall, take your feet out a little bit, and then you can slide down the wall and use that for support. And then slide yourself back up the wall. So, and this is where I'm going to bring out that term root lock. So once you get into your chair, practice a little root lock, contract, let it out. We only have to hold this for 8 breaths. When you're ready, get started into the chair that you like. Hold it for 8 breaths. There's so much to remember. Hold it for 8 breaths, contract. But I'm not going to grade you on this. You do what you're comfortable with. One of the things I try to remember is to get my knees over my ankles, over my feet, as much as I can. Try to get that back. It's less strain on your bones. There's so much to it. It's very easy to sort of tip forward. And when you're ready, rise up. Up. Lower hands to your side. Get a drink whenever you feel the need to. Hydration's good for us. Now, if you're feeling particularly spunky, we can do the twisted sister chair. I'm sure that is not the Sanskrit name for it. But if you want to extend this posture a little bit, you can take the bottom half of yourself, get into chair, hands in prayer. Take your left elbow against your right knee and look up. Root lock. Hold.
Maggie, when you do root lock, do you hold it for the full time or do you breathe in and out with each breath?
I would say try to hold it for at least a count of 4. If it's your first time doing root lock, there's no reason to make a marathon out of it. Just start with what your capability is.
Okay.
And that's sort of something that goes along with all the postures. We do them for a brief period of time here. When you're developing your own practice, you will do things probably for longer periods of time.
Sure.
So even if you try it for just 1 or 2 breaths, you're still getting a lot of benefit from it. Does that answer?
It does. Thank you.
Okay. When you're ready, slowly come up, do a little stretch. And we'll take it to the other side. When you finish, stretch it out a little bit. And work your way back down to the floor. While I check my notes and try to remember what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, you can put yourself in any comfortable seated position. We're going to be doing a little meditation right now. So, I'm pulling a nice cushy chair thing back over. If you want to do something to help support your back, that's cool. Get comfortable. Oh, I like this one. This is a fun one. Okay, we're going to do something called the Kirtan Kriya. And I like this one. I'm doing this one for 40 days. A lot of the meditations, kriyas, postures, combinations are recommended to do them for a week or for 40 days or for 100 days, because it's very much like establishing a habit. And this one I like because this meditation is good for the memory. There are a number of Kundalini practitioners who are doctors, one of whom, Dr. Singh, he's very involved with Alzheimer's research, and they're doing studies with Alzheimer's patients and doing meditation where it not only makes Alzheimer's patients calmer, they are documenting that it's halting and in some cases reversing some of the effects of Alzheimer's. So I'm all about keeping my brain functioning and hopefully improving my memory. So this is a fun one. I'll sort of tell you what to expect. And here we are using mudras, which are hand things, things we do with our hands. And we'll be saying out loud, excuse me, sa, touching thumb and our first finger. This is for knowledge. Ta is for intelligence, wisdom, and patience. I can always use that. Na, this is for vitality and energy of life. Ma, this is our ability to communicate. So we will be saying slowly for 2 minutes, sa, ta, na, ma. And I'll put this in the chat so you can see what these syllables look like. And then for 2 minutes, we will whisper, sa, ta, na, ma. And then we will have 2 minutes of saying it quietly to ourselves, silently. Then we'll rotate out of that 2 minutes of whisper and 2 minutes of speaking. And I am going to practice with my little timer today, see if that works. So I don't have to do my meditation with one eye open like this, looking at the clock that I'm squinting at. And our natural inclination is to close our eyes while we are doing this. Let me put the Satanama up into the chat. There we go, Satanama. And with your eyes closed, if you would like, there we go, your focus, if you'd like to maintain focus between your eyes, you can certainly do that. It's a good place to be focused. And so whatever position is comfortable, you can rest your arms on your knees, depending on how you're seated. I will hold my hands up at the beginning just to demonstrate the fingers, and then I will lower them back down. So, all right. Sa, ta, na, ma, 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 sa, ta, na, ma. Now we begin our whisper. Sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, And now 2 minutes silently to ourselves. And back to whisper. Sa, ta, na, sa, ta, sa, ta, sa, sa, na, ma. Now we speak aloud again. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 sa, ta, na, ma, 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 sa, ta, na, ma. Last round. Sa, ta, na, ma. I think you all have earned a savasana.
Yay.
That's
So
the best move.
get into your favorite savasana position, and you might want to drink after that. I found myself getting a little hoarse by the end. Your body temperature might start cooling down if you want to grab a sweater or a blanket, get nice and comfy. Mm. You feel that spine sink into the floor. You may choose whether you want to extend your arms with the palms up, or if you want to turn your palms down, pick up some more of that earth energy, whichever's comfortable for you, whichever you feel called to do right now. You will be getting plenergy. That's our new word of the day. We're getting plenergy coming through the ground, coming up through our bones, up our spine. Sink in. Turn your ankles a little bit. Scrunch your toes and release. Scrunch and release. Turn those ankles. Contract the muscles in your calves and release. Give them a nice squeeze and release. Contract the muscles around your knees and your thighs. Contract those muscles. And release. Contract the muscles around your pelvis, your glutes, your hips. Contract all that in and release. Contract the abdomen. And release. Contract around your chest. Release. Notice how as you release, your shoulders will sink into the floor. Squeeze your hands, make fists, and release. Contract the muscles in your arms. Release. Get your neck as comfortable as possible against the floor, against your mat. That means tilting your chin up or back a little bit. Maybe turn your head a little from side to side. Loosen your jaw. Have you been clenching your jaw? Loosen that. Squeeze your eyes. Squinch up your face. And release. Whenever you feel ready, you come back up into a seated position.
I'm coming.
And we are going to close out today's practice with the Sat Nam. Again, it's a little mantra. It's used quite a bit. People in Kundalini use it as a greeting, much like Namaste, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. And it means truth is my identity. So that's something to chew on for a little bit. Truth is my identity. And just like we started with Om Namo, Gurudev Namo, we will repeat Sat Nam 3 times. Be a long Sat, short Nam. And whenever you're ready, hands in prayer in front of the heart. Nice deep breath in. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam.
Thank you.
Ah.